Hi, this is Roger Struckoff with Syscon TV. We are at day 2 at Cloud Expo East in New York in the year 2015, and right at this precise moment, I'm sitting with Dave Landa at Kintone. Dave's been at the show. He was on a power panel yesterday. We were talking about, started talking about cloud, and he said, you know, I'd rather talk about the IoT, and we ended up talking about the IoT, so that was cool. So right now, he's with Kintone, and let's ask and find out about Kintone and its relationship with the Internet of Things. And welcome to the show, by the way.
All right, well, thank you very much. Glad to be here and glad to be on the power panel yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So Kintone, we are a build-your-own business application platform, really kind of a platform as a service in the cloud. So we are, a cloud solution. But where it comes to the Internet of Things, what we see right now in the Internet of Things are this massive uptick in devices and sensors going out into the world, and all of those sensors, they're all creating data, right? They're creating information, and what really needs to happen for the Internet of Things to kind of fulfill its destiny, fulfill its potential, is for those applications, those cloud applications, to really become part of the Internet of Things and be able to capture the data, aggregate the data, and then ultimately enable either machines or humans to act, to take action on the data. And so for Kintone, what we're doing is that we are providing a platform for companies, businesses, to build those applications, to connect with the data coming off of those sensors, and to ultimately create the actionable layer for folks. So, in a nutshell, so you can throw a quick example out there. In the solar industry, we have basically a centralized application on Kintone in the cloud, which is pulling the data from various different monitoring systems that have their sensors set up on the solar arrays. And Kintone is providing that platform where the operations and maintenance folks in the solar industry can take the action they need to optimize their business.
I was thinking a couple of things. I'll get to the second one about the human factor in a second, but the first one, you talk about this massive rise in the amount of data. Can the applications handle it? Is this obviously a scalability issue, but what are the dimensions of that scalability issue, and how do you address it for your customers?
The dimensions obviously can become enormous as all of the different data comes off of these sensors. I think, where we're playing currently is really within, vertical markets, vertical applications. And so for the solar industry, there will be perhaps 30 different types of monitoring solutions that are, unique and different, all pulling off their own sort of data sources. And so we're helping aggregate that data, put that together, and make it more manageable, more scalable in a way, bringing it down to its core, which what really needs to be, which is providing actionable data in a format which is visual, that can allow people to take that action. So as we move forward, I think in order to really capture IoT potential, there will be a need to move to some more standards, to move to some more, I think we were talking about it yesterday a little bit, more horizontal scenario where the Internet of Things data is coming in a more uniform, a more consistent way. And so applications, like are built on Kintone in our own platform, can be done more easily, more safe and securely, because you'll have these standards in place. You'll have maybe secure environments built up specifically for IoT type applications, and I think that's where things need to move toward. Today we're a little bit more focused in the vertical opportunities, but I do think as more standards are in place, more effort is put around the security aspect, you'll see more of a kind of this horizontal environment build.
Well, I think yesterday we were talking about M2M a little bit, and how relevant it is to exactly what you do. I think it was you that said, how about M to M to H? Has to get back to the humans. And so that's the second aspect here is the humans, and how do you do that? And it's a matter of aggregating, of interpreting, of monitoring, of reporting and then actionable things that the humans can do after? How do you accomplish all that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think it does depend on the type of application you're talking about, what you're trying to do. And there's certainly instances where M to M is great, and that should be the goal, where you're being able to, the sensors are pulling data and then enabling other systems to take action. You're actually recognizing that in a particular environment it's too hot and the system can automatically cool things down, basic stuff. But in some of the scenarios, some of the use cases we're looking at, you're talking about being able to identify when there is a problem in a system, and it's not something that just by turning something down or up would be able to resolve. You'd need to have perhaps a repair person go out and fix something, right? So you want to be able to create a network that leverages IoT and all the sensors coming in, but a network of connected individuals who can know immediately when there's an issue. Maybe a supervisor can send someone off to take care of that issue. Maybe the person who goes and takes care of that issue has a mobile handset, and they can report back immediately what the issue is, get approval immediately, all have that in a sort of an actionable system which is centralized in the cloud that everyone can have access to. The beginning point and then perhaps the ending point is IoT and the sensors, but in between there's all that interaction among all the people who are still getting things done in the process, and that applies to solar, that would apply to building maintenance, that would apply to transportation. So any of these things that are starting to pull more and more data from more and more sensors, there's still a lot of human interaction with those systems that need to be centralized and again, actionable.
How do people find you? Is it kintone.com?
Kintone.com, KINTONE.com. It's, like I said, it's a platform for kind of building your own business applications. Obviously, we can support any interested parties who wants to develop something at a larger scale. We have system consultants that work with us as well to help build things out. But kintone.com, and if someone's interested in just a brief walkthrough, we have a 30-day free trial. Can have access into the platform to see what it does, and then we also have free demos with our sales engineers at any time.
Oh, you answered my last question for me. Didn't even have to ask it. Thanks a lot for joining us, and thank you for watching. For Syscon TV, this is Roger Struckhoff.